So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today at this webinar. I hope this will bring you as much, like useful information as we find it useful ourselves. My name is Maria. I'm a partner development manager at Connect to One. Today we have several people with us here on the call who will showcase parts of our presentations would be live with the processes that we will showcase to you. And let me just do a brief introduction. Today with us is Sergey. He is the CEO at Evergreen. We also have Alex. He is the CEO at Evergreen. And we have Danny, who is our head of infrastructure of Connect to One. Um, so let me tell you in a couple of words what we're gonna see today, what we want to discuss with you guys. So most teams using AI right now as a side tool. We know that everybody uses AI. I mean, like the amount of note takers at this call would be a great example of using AI in one of the operational, like day-to-day tasks. So our perspective and what we want to talk to you about today is what if it becomes, like the engine, the center of your entire development lifecycle. Um, we can show you, like in this session, how to move from experiments to structured AI-driven SDLC, where AI agents work alongside with engineers across different, like levels and stages, discovery, architecture, coding, testing, and definitely observability. So let me just quickly to jump on, um, on some of the questions, some of the problems, and that were risen before, which is a lot of teams, and I'm sure you work in a companies that all have, like routine procedures, routine tasks that without using AI right now, you can basically drown in them. Testing, deployment, integration, that's a couple of the examples. But in general, we use it as, like as something, as a little notebook that is on your table and it's there, but you're not really integrating them into full core of the processes. Um, a structural automation is needed, everybody know that, but in different stages, we still use it as a part of something, but not a part of our routine, not a part of our processes, not a part of the organization. So, in terms of businesses, client expectations, like starting from sales, starting from, like early points of engagements, we understand that the client expectations right now are risen because of the AI. And they demand quick results yesterday, tomorrow, today. And our perspective is with the adoption of the AI processes to the core of your processes can help you to deliver projects 2 to 10 times faster with the same high quality without, like sacrificing that quality that you already have. As for the competition in the market, yes, everybody see that competition is huge right now in different AI tools, and there is so much of them that I'm sure that each and every one of you can list right now at least like 10 that they use every day, or 10 that they know, or 10 tools that they heard of. So our perspective and our like our main point is whoever will first like effective leverage AI not as a side kick, but like a helper to the main process, to the main core, will have a significant advantage on the market. In terms of AI potential, I think we can all agree that there is no limit to the potential, and the potential is huge. And in order to automate all of those routine tasks that you already did within the company for years, we can definitely, like show you a systematic approach and show you how we can use that without using only GPT or using only Claude. We can hopefully tell you something new today or tell you something that you're probably not expecting before. So let me let me pass this
Yes.
to Sergey.
I sent several words about our AI SDLC approach before we start actual demo. That we are talking not about uh, replace human with AI or something like that. We are talking about product development because we mostly develop IT products. We are talking about product development life cycle with AI interacting with human on every stage. So human is like a run architector or orchestrator of AI or own team of AI agents, suitable and designed for every stage of AI SDLC. So the result is we are much, much faster because LLM can do code actually much faster than any real human. But also with human in the loop, we control quality, we have transparency, and we understand requirements, understand how it works. And this is not about replacement. This is about empowering humans with AI. So AI plus human, not AI instead of human. And definitely every company can select its own AI tool stack. Here you can see sample tech stack. It is not exactly our current tech stack, but this is something with this tech stack we have some good experience. So it's ChatGPT Perplexity for discovery, Lovable and UX Pilot for UI/UX design, Cursor or Cloud Code Plus agents for coding, WhitePress, Mermaid for documentation, and Grafana, Loki, Prometheus for observability, Playwright, Comet, or Atlas for automated QA testing.
Yeah, but the question is,
Mhm.
like, is the point of this is how to build an automated workflow, not just a tech stack that Sergey just discussed as an example of what is there on the market that what is there we're working for us. Um, what we can, like what can we definitely say that one of the most important phases, and I'm sure that is the most important phase in your company as well, is the discovery, starting from different departments, but also in the technical department to understand tasks, context, wants and needs. We always start by gathering all of the, like wish list. I would say not a must, but need all of the wish lists. And we start with defining the problem. Also, like the general idea, where is that coming from? Why do you need this now? Why do you need it today or tomorrow? As we spoke earlier, it's always, like it should be delivered very fast. So as for the information gathering, we use a lot of, like research, and we're trying to do deeper research with the different AI tools. ChatGPT Deep Research is one of them, for example, and as Sergey talked before, is Perplexity. Um, I mean, like doing a SWOT analysis or whatever business analysis on a deeper technical level is became so much easier for us, something that we can see within our organization. And we can aggregate data, we can build everything. I'm sure you know that, but still, let me, like, let us talk a little bit more about the live examples. And I'm gonna transfer this next phase to Alex. He's gonna talk a little bit more about that. So let us hear what we can see and learn from this.
Thank you, Maria. The next step is prototype development. We don't drive pictures for a week. We use one very cool tool.
Alex, sorry to interrupt you, but don't forget to demonstrate your screen because we're seeing Maria's
Uh,
now.
1 minute.
Super, super. Okay.
We use one very cool tool called Lovable. You just write in the chat what you want. And the AI makes several web page every way. I already have a ready prompt. I can copy paste it now. Let me show you live. Um, Lovable dev. create a modern, clean and production-ready product catalog page for e-commerce web application, focus on usability, visual creativity, and real cart functionality. Goals: build a responsible product catalog interface which filtering, search, product grid, and fully working cart integration. И blah blah blah. Create a clean. I already built this page, which exactly this prompt before out call. The page build usually takes about 5 minutes. So now I will show you the ready page note when of the build. Look, here's the result.
Yeah,
We have
the
a
results
search.
are very clean. Sorry for interrupting here. It's just what Alex was highlighting here. That is very simple. I mean, like you can see it for yourself. Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting, Alex. Just continue.
We have search working. We have filters. Buy button. Everything work. I click button. Popper appears. Item added to cart. It's worked perfectly. But now let's make everything better right now live. I will write a new prompt in the chat and prove this. And a nice pop-up cart mini cart. When someone clicks at show a small pop-up or sliding cart on the side right. Looks in updating right now.
I like more in vibe coding process that you never know what you will see as a result. So your expectation can be very much higher than what you receive. But with Lovable, typically you got good results.
Hi everyone. What about
Yeah.
non-standard Shopify interface? What about our Ukrainian statuses or in stock
Mhm.
or some DIA or payments of part payments, yeah, or something else, not standard for American customer.
Very good question. Actually, I will tell it in my part of presentation about your specification-driven approach when you need something custom, not standard. But actually, we have very good experience with Lovable for prototyping. So actually, you can prototype everything if you have something already described in documentation. For example, you mentioned DIA or something else, you can pass the documentation for that service to Lovable, and Lovable will build it to you also. For example, integration with some local banking system like Ukrainian banks, Privatbank or whatever, and other Polish banks, Czech banks, was done exactly in that way. So we just pass the documentation, technical documentation, dev documentation, API references to Lovable, and Lovable built it for us in several minutes. Okay, Alex. So we
Done.
see cars built live on our eyes here and now, few minutes ago.
Mini cart slider in show the item, quantity, total, and button.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It
quite
was good.
simple. Very good, yeah. And thank you so much for the question. I think with this part, Alex, let me know if you want to showcase something a little bit more, or can I transfer this to...
I guess we have schedule better. Let's go further. I guess everybody can understand that Lovable can build literally anything just in few prompts, and it is very good for web development. It's good for some e-commerce or websites. A little bit worse for application, but still good for, as I said, prototype development. Okay, Maria.
Perfect. Yeah, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, and this is my part. So at this point, typically, most teams usually say something like, okay, we got it. AI can help with prototype, quick experiments, maybe got some acceleration, but not more. I want to show you this is not true and explain how it actually works. Please, next slide. So we will start not from code. I want to start from something that typically is much more harder and nobody actually loves it because one of the first real superpower of AI and LLMs is that it not just write code. It can read your code, understand your code, reconstruct the logic, explain the main flows, and turn a black box into white box and something that can be actually clear for team. And it helps you with documentation and knowledge transfer. Next, please. And production ready development start exactly here. Because production development is not about web coding. It is about spec-driven development. AI becomes truly useful, not becomes it improves, because it operates inside the structure. So firstly, you develop a system of rules, requirements, business guides, constraints, architecture workflows, and standards. And only after that, you have stable output because it is already based on your data, on your requirements. And Ivan, it's even the same that you already asked. So you need DIA or other system be described inside your rules, guides, and others. And then your team and your AI agents can understand how to build it, and I will show it to you in practice. Next, please. So basically, it becomes a system or team of specialized agents. Here is illustration of Connector One's AI agents. So we here have near 15 agents. They build code, help us with support tickets, analyze and make QR testing, analyze and monitor systems, help with estimation and requirements. And for your own company, you will definitely build your own team of agents, your own stack, your own reality, and your own data. But I will now show you in practice. I'll switch to cursor. One moment. Yes. So imagine you just clone some repository, and I don't know, I know nothing about it actually. This is black box. I see some code, maybe it is JavaScript, some JS files, some source, I don't know what is it. So before AI, I probably would start reading files manually and trying to reconstruct in my head how it works, how code base is created. But now I just tried business guide. It's command and cursor and tell something like make documentation, make me business guides for, I use like that for this app. Business guide is a rule, is actually a set of logic, a set of prompts for cursor. Now it is reading all code. It is not much code here, so we will wait for completion. And now it's doing general guides, then use cases, process flow, test cases. I will start with general guide. By the way, there is nice bonus here. I can use it in my own language, and every team member can use their own language. So there are no more language barrier inside Codebase now. You don't need, you can write everything in English, and everyone can read it in native language. Or it can be programming language. I never know. So, for example, I personally understand JavaScript, but maybe someone is not really good with that. So this is guide built online. So we understand this. This is AI example, API demo with observability with Node.js REST. I was right. It was something JS. Something like demo sandbox, business value, personas, system architecture. So we see directory structure and what is inside structure, navigation entry points, API routes documented, permission, access control, no allows, localization, no localization, security compliance, no, components, business scenarios, la la la. Yes. Okay, what else can we see? We see it is another guide called process flow. Process flow allows you to build some block schemes of logic. So with Mermaid diagrams, you see this is orchestrator API doing something with Redis. Some processes like get API users, cache, no cache, read from database, Mermaid diagram of another process, all of us. So it is much better than trying to understand it from code. We also have built test cases, use cases. It's all built in Markdown files, but you can preview it, export to doc, PDF, whatever. Okay, how it works. Inside Cursor, we see agents, commands, rules, and now we used command called business guide. It's pretty simple. Use read rules and some small prompt. Inside business guide rule, we have a little bit more text. Again, I made this, it is public, this repo will be publicly available for you, so you can play with it after webinar, but I built this rule from our production business guide rule. It is much simple. We have much more complicated business guide rule, but it is enough to understand the whole concept. So the main purpose of business guide rule is quickly understand system and make a context for agent to make other changes, and agent also need to understand your code base. Let's move forward. For example, we have some
I'm
Jira
sorry,
task.
Sergey, can I ask
Yeah,
you a
sure.
question?
Yes, please.
You write the rules by yourself, or I think with another agent, like a prompt?
Yes. We
What
are doing
what
both. We do both. We write rules and agents by ourselves, and we generate it. For example, in our production environment, we have agent generating agent, agent builder
what,
agent. So
what
it
agent
is quite.
you use for writing rules?
It is also all in our setup. All is based on Cursor or Cloud Code. So we use it is our own design. We design it our own agent building agent. Yes, but typically we create per project, per system, because there are two. The systems quickly becomes quite complicated, so it need to be tailor made for specific project and specific needs.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, sure. Let me show another use case. For example, we have some Jira task. I hope it will work now, because Jira MCP is quite not quite imperfect. Yes, so I don't know what this task about. It is just for me. Was like Jira with some Jira key. And I have another command called task analysis. Let's wait. And here we see some subagent called Atlassian MCP. It gets demo Jira task from our Jira. It is an assigned task. Very simple. Our demo app needs some front end to show, health check, users products. So now it makes report for this task. Task goal, understanding, and it is simplest front end, context, Evergreen internal demo, description, technical details. It understands our code, cases examples, and uncertainties, actually no uncertainties, validations, no questions. It is quite simple task. So after that, we see specification, and specification is created here. So each agent business guide output their docs in docs business guide, text analysis, task analysis in docs task analysis. So we see here task specification, context, acceptance criteria, technical specification, epic contracts existing, front-end approach, dependencies and blockers, what to do, update Docker file if needed, update business guide. So it also understands that we have already built business guide, so it should be updated, suggested implementation steps, important note. So this is very simple, but this is specification. I will not build production code now for this case. You can play with it by yourself. But if you say, okay, please implement this specification, you will have much better code than in case of vibe coding, because cursor and agent already analyze your system and understand what should be done. So you will spend much less tokens and you will have much more predictable result. It can be compared, for example, with plan mode, but for complex tasks, you typically need plan mode plus specification approach, so you can build a lot of specification, then make a plan to build them all. And for example, after that, you want to document something. For this case, you have changelog, and you can tell, please document changes in the repo. Yes, I will not do that because of schedule, but I will show you another idea. For example, it would be about client documentation. We have agent called TechWriter for that. And by the way, in our team, we don't have actual human person TechWriter. TechWriter agent is writing almost everything for us, from client documentation, internal documentation, client documentation, UI tooltips, and other things that typically no developers want to do, and with multi-language, whatever. So, for example, in this case, the writer, please create client documentation for this app. Let's see what we have. Again, we see some subagent. Subagents are a very powerful feature of Cursor, allowing you to make different agents work in parallel. We can see starting from here. And we can explore model source here, how it works, what it's all about. again, in the writer rule, I put several phases process to create documentations and to test it according to the structure. Okay, super. So it is client-facing documentation about an example app, introduction. The example is ta-ta-ta, context and problem, what problem solve, demo and learning, load testing, constraints and prerequisites, typical use case, core concepts, architecture review, yes? Because in our case, liveness, readiness, users, quick start, how to run the demo, service URLs and credential, using the demo, la 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 la. So if you will try to MCP configs for Grafana, for example, etc., etc. So if you will try to generate something like cursor, please more cloud code, please make me readme, you will typically have something like that. Apps, repository layout, yes, or something. It can be much more text here, but it would definitely not follow your structure. But with rules, with comments, you can put, I will show you, for example, for TechWriter, I'll show you how it works. So typically for each rule, you have a general prompt and you have a structure. Yes. So with rules, with subagents, you can tell Cursor or Cloud Code how to follow your structure, your coding standards or documentation standards or whatever. And this is a way of structuring your processes. So let's summarize. I intentionally did not focus on code generation here. The reason is simple. I'm pretty sure that everyone here has already seen AI generates code, and this part is commodity now. The real differentiator is not an AI that generates code. The real differentiator is where your team can use AI to understand system, to control system structure, to create specification, to make a documentation, to transfer knowledge between team members and between other agents, to make development repeatable, stable, and production ready. And yes, for sure, we generate the code with AI. A lot of code we generate with AI, but code generation without structure just create chaos, and code generation with such structure create you spec-driven AI agent assistant SDLC that creates you leverage. And this is the point where AI becomes not only prototyping tool, like we see in Lovable, but production ready. And give you real engineering multiplying. And I will pass mic and screen for Danny, and he will tell a little bit about post-production, so about observability and how can we handle all this mess when it is already deployed on servers.
Thank you. Danny, just letting you know that your microphone is not on.
Yeah.
Размьешься. Okay, super.
Yeah, hello everybody, thank you. I will repeat, my name is Danny, I'm the head of infrastructure, and I love and hate AI. It's a really main point. But today we will speak about where AI in infrastructure hitting the highest point with working with engineers. First of all, let's remind what point I speak about. It's observability. Observability, monitoring, works with signal. AI is the best tool that can work with signals, with some data, with raw data that humans don't like to understand. They're collecting a lot, millions, billions per day, per data, whatever. So the what point of observability is? I got the best sentence. Observability is ability to interfere with system internal states from the signals it emits. It's really hard to understand, but the main point is observability allows you to ask arbitrary questions about your system without predefining them in advance. So what does it mean? the difference between monitoring and observability is really simple. Monitoring just collects data, predefine it, and set this metric is exceed something, but it doesn't say why, what, and how. It just say this something is bad. Hey, buddy, wake up! I'm on-call engineer. Your pager is duting. Wake up, please. But the observability works with raw data that we collect and with some contexts and understandable and try to understand what happened and what state, what health status of your application at this point, or it was, or it will be in future. And with AI engines and new contexts we provided and implemented already in many companies, that's starting to reach the results and decreasing. That's Sergey said we will not speak about decreasing human impact, but this is decreasing the human impact because on call it's the most bad shifting that's created human. Nobody want to work later. Nobody want to work all now. Nobody want to debug some production system while you have some tasks that you in roadmap. So let's speak about the default approach. I'm showing you the most simple default approach. We have the on-call engineer called dev. It gets notified. It's come to Grafana and sees something like this. It starts in seeing some metrics. They're looking for some dashboards. They see some load is going, some requests, and this dashboards can be goes a long. There's really so many panels, so many data. Imagine you have 100 nodes. Every node has application on data. You starting manually debugging in this aspect. This is really a frustrating approach. So with the same methodology that Sergey showed, we enhanced on the first step enhance their system. We got the same dev, but it's not already an on-call engineer. It can be any kind of engineer. It can be even non-tech person. It even can be L1 support that's not even understands what is happening. That's the most part. It's got the IDE or any kind of context. Working space. It can be web, it can be another. We got the same engines that Sergey shows below. We have them here too in the repo. You can find performance agents, Grafana, incident engines that will are very nice for compliance and other. And we have the same MCP tools. We have the new approach. We hold the code context. This means that application or that context that we have, it can be the Jira task. It can be the documents from previous analysis, as Sergey said. It can be some kind of open source solutions that is implementing and deployed on infrastructure, but you don't own the source code. You can just pass it to the context. And this is kind of the loop. It works with it works with the same Grafana, with same data source, with same storage, with same, but it works not with dashboard. It works with the raw data. How it's going? First of all, I'm really like to showcase something, stupid questions, but the most real time. There's always something happened. The customer said app is slow. Let's just imagine the most context that we have, because it's cold, it's angry, it's fucking slow. I'm sorry, I cannot do anything. We have the special agent. It's called the Grafana. You can name it whatever you want, but that is overall general engine. That just includes and helps the current widget. We work in showcasing Cursor, but it can be anything to understand what we have. And the most interesting point, I will showcase you what I think one of the best approach with not deep debugging structured the data of what we have. The structured data what we have is based on 4 questions: what, where, why, and how. So in the standard approach, you just going and understanding what's happening. It's same what is what. Let's describe it. At this moment, we have some load, We have some error rate. We have average response by all rows. We have the latency, that means the 5% of queries are hitting from 5 to 1 second and have some cache rate. Okay, that's just the raw state of it. So then we come to where. This is the same stuff if you're just looking for each point of your understanding when you're doing it by hands. So where? Okay, we have some simulate roads. As I don't know what is it. It's demo application. Okay, the agent don't know what is it. It shows that it's hitting the response and starting to understand which is the most best. Okay, and say why. We have the simulate road. It's artificial delayed road via sleep, no timeouts. It's just CPU heavy bound with calculating Fibonacci, some error rate, some broken roads. Okay, we understand this is some smoke tasting or roads that we containing in our application. And we are hitting, of course, for the demonstration purpose, but for the agent, this is production application. This is metric that is here. So it doesn't mean that is for demo purpose, but it tries to understand. And we see how. It is immediate action and post actions. But it's tried to generate code understanding already with context. It can give you links to understand performance, but it's not really very good for deep dive agent work. For the best agent work, you need to deep dive this. So we have the two specific additional agents. It's Grafana incident and Grafana suggest. We will run it both just for reducing the time. It's all good. Why we running and what they do? The Grafana suggest will be deep dive in code base and provide on this raw data. It will be recollected and reuse the context from the first one. You cannot call already independently, so you don't want to call this one. If you don't need this, it's all fine. And the second one is incident. The incident provides, because we all have the companies, compliance, we need to store backlogs, we need to create playbooks, we need to give feedback. This job is nobody want to do, and we will run it. The output of these two engines will be two specific documents. As we see, it will be start collecting, of course, on the internal plans. It will write incident reports and suggestion reports. Why we always work with reports? Agents must work with artifacts, not with general context. You must generate artifact. Then this artifact will be used in three ways. First of all, it will be passed to other engines, the most important in AI SDLC. The second one, the human will review it generally. It always need to be reviewed by humans if you need to go back as human, like to the context. And the third one, it archives. You must collect and store all changes, all stories, all kind for the future analysis. Just remember, trans AI will not be collapse like at once. It already comes to our life. It will come in business, and there will be in future the mass bonus something more stranger or scarier that will just using your old information. It's the same stuff when you try to scan your books and try to just digitalize it. And now all these books are used for training AI, just for fun amount. Okay, it will recollect data and use it from the context and created two response. Let's first check the incident response. It's the most interesting part. I will open the preview here and close it. Okay, the sovereignty is P2. So the engine gives a sovereignty P1, P0, P2, P3. Major status. Ongoing services, we got the one service API that was detected with high-level error fired. So we also have alerts that we can find and validate it's okay. Okay, we have the same alerts. Good. All good. What impact? So at now they take the same context that we already saw, but it's starting to enhance it. It's added SLO, it's added localized, it's added log samples, it's added trace samples. That is too very interesting. You can open this link and so this upper route is broken. The middleware is asking, I don't nothing understand. They're looking for the logs. Okay, there's two. These logs are just described this kind of application. And then human world, we just do it by cells. By the agent already collect all the raw data. It's already understand and link it all already together to combine that. The second is root cause. Okay, we have the threshold decreased for demo proposals. My bad. For demo proposed, it understand it, and they try to estimate the root cause. The load tester that is located continuously hit the simulate road. Okay, yes, we have the demo. This roads it simulate production failure modes. Okay, it runs a bit. Watch the combined load drives error rate. Contributor pattern, no rate limit, no feature flag, no load test. What we need to do now? We need to stop reduce load test. The same stuff if you on your production is forgetting to disable some cron jobs that's hitting or some integration. Please, it's owner on call because this is on call job now. We need to mitigate the incident. Second, we need to verify that all production roads is working right, remain healthy for real result. It's two on call. We also have the states and recommendation moment. But for the action items, for the developer, we need to add some feature flag and mitigation for bad roles. And for DevOps, we need to fix the thresholds and alerts that are firing now because it's 5% CPU, nobody fired 5% CPU. But they also suggest to run Grafana, suggest for deep dive. We already
Sorry for interrupting. Just
Yep.
quick remark. We have 10 minutes left, just so you know,
Yep.
you can manage the time.
Good. It's all good. So we already run the suggest. And this is a bit more interesting one because incident is always mitigation, fast reporting, storage. The suggestion is the plan document for the backend, front-end, agent, Jira task that was used in SDLC process. Let's deep dive on the suggestions. First one, add a timeout to slow road, slow AI pattern. Understandable, we saw the agent sees the current code and propose changes. I don't really like these changes. It can be just removed, but it find it. Okay. And he's described why he want to implement this change. The second one is a late CPU bound work from event looping. Understandable. Fibonacci, sync operation, calculating stuff. Let's just remove it. Okay. He also proposed two alternative ways. Nice one. The short suggestion, cap error simulate rate. Okay, we will do cap simulates. Oh, and this is one is interesting. Add Redis cache to production rows. So we've hit the incident because we're slowing our application without load testing. But the agent finds that one of API products rows, so the production a production road is not using by the Redis cache. So we're running the load testing that's hitting this road, and it's maybe and mostly impactable for our businesses. And this is most interesting. And it provides reusing the same functions for that we are already using in our lead. Okay, there's no address set, key-based cache invalidations for user. Okay, it's too really point because we don't delete the cache, we scan all keys and etc. It's fine, it's really bug. And connection leak because we have some leak injections. So no changes needed for cache rate, heap because and business logics, default, it's all right. What we can do it now. I always like this. I always like plan ask mode. Please build a plan. The surveys already shows. Oh, let's stop it. this will depend on suggestions and incident report. I will just write as it. There's some mistakes. All agents will understand it. It's all fine. So it will be now we're simulating the transferring context, these reports to the other agent. Now we're calling to the default agent, the widget of course on with predefined system prompts, but in our production usage, we transfer into the BDA backend developer, to the front end, how it's called, UI, UE, there's so many uh, UI agent, yeah, right. And whatever. We also create automatic task with Jira, and we will already implemented, assign the current on-call engineer and the needed engineer for future related. It also create with one task a lot of subtasks just to take it in the backlog, which is used also for sprint planning. So it's combined as all parts. We have to implement all the orders. We can run just build from this moment, and that will be implement code generation, validations, test, and other implementation that is already started. The most interesting part at this moment, what is the future? I really like to speak a future because an infrastructure layer, AI is hitting only one wall, it's work with signals. In the future will be this. It's called agent loop. Same as other, we have some code context repositories, Git, documents, knowledge base, the rack system, integration with Shopify, Cloudflare, whatever. And the agent is working without the human. Human validates only the agent loops. This kind of system, it's not implementing in current companies nowhere, but it will be future. We're starting implement it too, and it's starting showing the results and exceeds the thresholds of increasing and decreasing on-call engineers and increasing troubleshooting for the developers for understanding. So I think my time is gone. Thank you. I will stop sharing the share, and also the code generation is done.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was very, very interactive in terms of the amount of
Inspiring.
information.
Inspiring. It was inspiring,
Inspiring,
actually.
interactive, yeah. The amount of information, it's a lot, but I mean, I think it's very useful in that term. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, so I think we can, like jump into takeaways and just wrapping this presentation all together because we have like a couple of minutes left. So yeah, in terms of what you've just seen, you can see that this is not just, like a trend. This is an actual practical path, an actual practical road that we're using inside our company. We use it not as a, like a multiple site tool. So we use it as a cascade of tools to, like to work within internal projects. So our experience been at this point, I would say probably as much as Daniel said, love and hate relationship, but I mean like it's manageable. Let me know, guys, if you can, if somebody wants to jump into, like maybe highlight a couple of takeaways from Sergey or Danny or Alex, let me know because I can talk for hours. And yeah, we actively utilize and use all of the services that we showcase today. We have a lot of projects that have been delivered in this, so our experience, I would say, pretty much positive. And as Sergey said in the beginning of the presentation, we don't use it instead of, like instead of engineers, instead of people force that is actually within the company, we use it together and alongside. And so far, I mean, like it has been working. Yeah. Uh,
Yes, as I mentioned, you can play with GitHub repo by yourself.
yeah.
Yes.
There is there is a code you can scan. I mean, I'm pretty sure we will have a record of this. Um, of this presentation today, of this webinar. So yeah, and encourage yourself, encourage your team. I mean, like, we've been working with the multiple clients with the, like kind of similar requests, but they're all manageable. I mean, like, you can build these processes within the companies. If you have any questions, we're always, like, welcome to share the knowledge, to, like, to consult, to help you, because we've been doing that for quite some time now. And I would gladly say, like, probably that it's been quite successful for us. So thank you so much, guys, for today, for your time, for your busy time to, like, to craft some of it for us, for the demos, like, for the talks. So I'm very thankful. Thank you so much, the team. Thank you, Sergey, Alex, Danny, for the live
Thank you,
demos.
Maria,
Yeah.
for moderation.
It's yeah, it's been amazing. We have literally 2 minutes left. In case, like, somebody have, maybe we can take one question if somebody have
Urgent questions, emergency.
emergency questions, just, like, just for the one. We would be happy to do that. If no, it's also fine.
I have one question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I know that depends, but what could be the economy on the development comparing the spec-driven approach to the traditional SDLC?
It is much quicker. So in case of labor costs, so its salary of developers is much quicker. Quicker again, what we see from in real SDLC from 3 to 10 times faster. For prototyping event to 30 times faster. For real production, typically it's 3 to 5 times faster. About token usage and costs for tokens and LLMs, it is not so expensive now because, for example, Cursor is sponsoring mostly token usage. It's almost free, and in case of higher tiers of cloud code subscriptions is also have huge limits, so it is not so much. Comparing to labor costs, it's not too expensive.
Thanks a lot.
Konstantin?
Okay, thank you, guys. Sorry, I need to jump, but I'm sure that Sergey will,
Okay.
like, wrap
Thank you,
this up.
Maria.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Thank
Yeah, very short question.
Yeah, sure.
What do you use as orchestrator? Because you have, for example, Cursor, WordPress for documentation, Grafana, and it should be like master orchestrator. It's like Code or Cursor. Or,
Cursor. We did in our PDLC, we built it around Cursor because when we started, Cursor was much better than Cloud Code at times. Now, if I would start now, I will consider Cloud Code, and I see a lot of teams working and doing something like that with Cloud Code. So, but we use Cursor with hooks, with sub-agents, with all this stuff.
And connect other like solutions via MCP, as I understood. Something like that.
MCP, not MCP, just API as custom built MCPs, yes, so called. So you can use not only MCP, just you can use API and build your own MCP for that. So you want something to add, Daniel? Yes, Daniel will add some.
Yeah, about tooling MCP, there's really interesting approach that we do. We always try to looking for the best MCP. First of all, every company is building it differently. It's really frustrating a bit. So we always take the MCP, for example, open source, we combine it for our usages. We removing the tools, adding the prompts in the MCP collaboration. Also, we divided in the sub tools, for example, micro agents is just calling one script, for example, and it is reducing the context size and decreasing the cost usages because we always fighting with context rot. We don't need to expand it. We need to minimize it for the better usage, and it really work. So you must, if you want to implement it or you already implemented, you must fight with it. You must divide it. You must to make it. You must validate it. The best approach that we build the validation agent. It's just looking how it results, why the chat was taking too long, and whatever. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you guys for today. Thank you for your questions. Hope to see you soon on our events. And thank you very much. See you. Have a nice day and use AI. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a nice day.